So, hello and welcome to our second episode of the Crazy West podcast, where we talk about the Crazy West, which happens beyond the BTS footage on the set of a documentary. And today we have a very special guest, the one and only Diaka Koroma, where you heard so much already in the last episode, or you heard somewhat about her. And yeah, welcome.
It's a pleasure to be here with you, and I look forward to our conversation.
So, I thought, we know each other quite well.
hmm
And in the last episode, like my introduction came also a little bit short.
hmm
So, like, I think somebody who just stumbles upon the podcast didn't really get what I was doing, why we doing this podcast. So that's why I also do this time a better introduction. And I thought we could introduce each other. So I introduce you and you introduce me. A little bit different. So, I could start.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, please.
your name is Diaka Koroma. You're from Sierra Leone, Freetown to be exact. And you've been for a very long time now an activist for the rights for women and girls, for the female reproductive rights. You're fighting against FGM in your country, which is still a very big topic in your country. You're right now in Germany, studying human rights in law, politics, and society to further your capabilities of your activism to become a very powerful voice in your country. And yeah, you've been part of our movie,
hmm
of the Last Places movie. You were the glue which holds the movie together now. And yeah, we met back then. It was great experience for me meeting you, and I think we affected each other positively over the last few years. That's pretty much everything I can say right now.
Okay. So I think that you have an advantage over me because you already thought about this question, and you literally told me that you would not give me any clue whatsoever that we're going to talk about on this podcast because you want me to be as original as I could be. So let me try. Your name is Niklas or Nick.
But to be fair, with the different introductions, I just came up with that in the shower before the episode started. So
Okay. Okay. All right. Fair enough. But still, you had more time to think. But, anyways, I like to be put on the spot sometimes. So, your name is Niklas Platz. You live in Germany, born and raised in Germany. You've studied outside of Germany. You have a bachelor's degree in business administration, business management.
yeah, that's something never that's what I tell people, but that's why we do the
Yeah,
different
that's what you
introductions.
studied. Um,
Wait 1 second. Unprofessional.
for someone who took my phone away from me.
Okay, I'm back. My phone
Yeah,
was ringing, so maybe I can filter it out, but sorry for the interruption.
yeah, it's okay. So you studied business management, but prior to that, you were studying engineering.
Yeah, it was digital media management.
Yeah.
And before that, I studied like technical physics, is it called?
Yeah, so
So,
something that wasn't quite close to your heart. So moving on to study digital media marketing,
digital media management.
digital media management. That was because you basically came into an agreement with your mom that if you want to follow your passion, like your heart's desire, you need to go to school. You need to come home with a degree. And your heart desire was basically, it started with photography. And so you went through it, you conquered, you came home with a degree, and then straight up you had that platform to be able to express yourself through your passion, which has developed from photography to making documentaries, films, not only ordinary documentaries and films, but ones that tell stories about people who doesn't have a voice, I will say, people who the world take advantage over, like the minority people. Um,
I always say like it's like I recently developed this saying of I want to tell stories about people who deserve to be heard. To
yeah,
like,
people whose stories deserve to be heard. And so when your first big project that you've had so far was with this movie that I was featured in, where you had the opportunity to travel to, I think, 5 or 6 African countries.
hmm
And that was with Marcus Malthe, someone who I see as has played quite a role in your life. Because for us to even, not only your life, in my life too, because for us to even know each other was because of Marcus' whole idea about the documentary movie. And so you are currently based in Germany and you are trying to see how you can develop your passion even more further and chasing the, like I mentioned, the last places has been your biggest project so far. So chasing that desire to do more than the last places. Um, and I think there's so much about you that I could say, but if I could introduce you, that could be. I think there's so much I could say, but I will stop at it here.
okay. I think it was a quite a different interaction I would have given myself about it. I mean, that was the
Okay.
idea of it. So maybe next time I can do the thing also with Marcus when he is on the podcast.
Yeah.
um, yeah. So I want to start with a question you had to me after you heard the podcast for the first time, the first episode for the first time.
hmm
Do you remember what that question was?
I think so, but let me allow you.
It was about the stories.
Yeah, about
That,
how people who just have this, mm, people who haven't traveled, especially in the African continent, how they could perceive some of these stories that you
yeah.
tell. I
Yeah,
think
you said specifically what you said was, why do you always only tell the bad stories? Why are all your stories
the bad
bad? The bad
experiences.
experiences. And I mean, I answered that with, to me, is none of this experience is bad. All of these experiences are great, amazing stories. And nothing of it I would say I would regret and I would want to go back and would have done it differently. I would have walked straight into every single situation again like this, because in the end it was always, for one, a great story, and for one, I mean there's no really, I mean, the really bad stories like which I still don't know if I want to tell them,
Mm-hmm.
or like the bad experiences. I don't want to tell them, which stick in my head as bad experiences. But the supposedly bad experiences of, I mean, I mean, of barely like almost getting robbed of my camera, or like eating this terrible food. I mean, they're funny stories. I like all of these stories. They all of them are amazing to me, and appreciate that I did this, that I had these experiences. It's not that I would say
They're not boring experiences.
yeah, they're not boring. I mean, I would have hated to just sit like in a resort the whole time if I would go to Africa. I mean, you can have that too if you will go to Africa, but I would much rather have all these experiences.
Mm.
Like they are all so good to in my memory. They're all great experiences. Like even like I mean, for me also being on in Greenland and almost like fighting for my life in my like what I felt in this moment. I thought I was fighting for my life because I was like, if my tent blows away,
Mm.
I don't get out of here. I don't spend the night here. Like I'm soaked wet, and I'm like, but in the end, that was where I felt like most alive, and I felt great doing it. Felt great afterwards. So there was nothing good different if I would have sat in a hotel and went to the buffet and ate a ton of food. I would have felt maybe great while eating it, but I would have felt terrible afterwards. So,
Mm.
and there I felt great all around it. I felt alive. So that's just my recapitulation of the last episode. I wanted to make that statement that these stories which I told, they're all great stories, amazing stories to me, and I would
Yeah.
not want to miss them.
Mm.
So yeah, maybe we come later to the bad story, which I have. Like there's one which really sticks in my mind, which I also told you when you asked me. But
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I want to come to your experience. I want to know what is your perception of Cameroon? How would you tell the story of your trip to Cameroon?
That's a lot. Like we need like five like 5 episodes, I think.
I mean, if you want to make the time, we can happily start slowly. But yeah,
Oh, Cameroon, Cameroon.
I
Hmm.
mean, I always say Cameroon felt like a movie throughout. Like I came home and it felt so surreal to me that it was I couldn't believe that just actually happened like the last four weeks almost.
Yeah. Yeah, it was supposed to be 2 weeks, but then it was extended.
Mm.
What seemed to be like at that time a negative experience for me ended up being like one that put me in a situation where everything was just way, way better than I ever expected it to be. So yeah, Cameroon was quite a life-changing experience for me, I would say. I discovered so many pieces of myself that I never thought I had. And it was really surprising because considering my background, what I've gone through, what I've experienced in life, I, I thought that there was not really a room for me to really like see another side of me, as a woman, as a human being. But when Marcus called me and told me about this idea, about Africa, and the way how Marcus looks like when he speaks about his passion is just like it's like really need to keep up mentally. And when he told me about how he got my contacts from a woman living all the way in Brazil that I had come into contact during one of the projects that I was part of, that my organization or yeah, my organization worked with Action Aid.
It was for the COP, right?
Yes, the
Like,
COP 26. Yeah. Where um and I think I had just like one or two phone call with this lady, and but then she was part of the,
really?
yeah, but she was part of the whole process. And out of, I think, like 30 young people who were part of the conference online, um they ended up choosing, I think, three or four of us to attend the COP 26, and I was part of it. And not only the COP 26, there was a program also prior to the COP 26, and they also chose me. And then the COP 26 came, but that program I couldn't attend because of visa,
Mm.
story of my life. And then the COP 26 came again, I couldn't attend because of visa, story of my life. And again, when Marcus called me about the project and told me about the whole idea, I think for me, I like to say that I'm not from Sierra Leone, I'm from Africa, because I feel so connected with the continent rather than just small piece of land in the continent. So when told me it's about African culture, about African stories, and I was just like, okay, I'm in. And at first the whole intention was to meet first in Angola.
Yeah, we had actually planned so much about it. Like,
Yeah,
we thought about, yeah, we have this whole week in Angola after the trip
yeah,
with like you, and we can like shoot this amazing interview by the fire. Like,
yeah,
we even like rented a place, I think, like, or we had like a place organized with like a huge fireplace where we were like on the coast where we could have filmed the interview. And then like just like a week before it became clear, okay, you won't be able to make it because they just won't give you a visa.
yeah, for just no apparent reason. So, and so a couple of months later, the whole idea was redirected to, okay, then we meet in Cameroon. Even Cameroon, right? It was like really slim chance, like a thin
Hmm.
line of me not getting the visa again. But it ended up coming through, and I traveled to Cameroon, with my two pink suitcases, my 24 kilo,
Three pink suitcases.
no, two big
Yeah,
luggage suitcase,
one
and then
carry on.
a hand luggage, which was also pink.
I
Yeah,
mean,
so
how I was traveling with camera equipment. Like, I my luggage, my clothes section was like a shoebox of clothes, and the
yeah,
rest was camera
I
gear.
was
That's
really shocked. Like, how could you really live like this?
Yeah, I said, like,
But
how can you choose to carry this much stuff? I mean, if I could, I would only take the shoebox, but I had to take the camera and all the things.
Mm,
But you chose to take the carry-on and two giant suitcases which weighed like, I don't know how much. Like, no European airline would have accepted these suitcases because they were so heavy.
anyways, so I showed up in Cameroon, and I thought I was meeting you guys was it in Yaoundé that I?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes, we were
in
supposed to meet
Yaoundé.
in
So we were
Yaoundé.
supposed to meet in Yaoundé, but I was feeling, first of all, when I started traveling, I think it was, I don't know if it was with the whole visa process, waiting, like the stress of it,
You
like,
mean you first came like a whole week later than everyone else?
yeah, exactly. And I
So they
was,
didn't give it to you in time. They just,
yeah,
even though we started like a month before, more than a month.
yeah. And so, I came, even from the airport, I was like feeling a bit sick. It was in 2022, and COVID was just ending at that time, I think.
Yeah, they were
Yeah, so there was
loosening
still
restrictions everywhere.
restrictions. Yeah. And I remembered when I was like at the airport in Cameroon, and they took all of us to like this room to go and check for the COVID, um um for the COVID, it
The
just,
quick tests.
yeah, to see. And I was not feeling so well, like I was feeling really sick. And well, not really really sick, but I was not feeling well, and it was like over 100 of us, in this room. And
Yes.
They took,
Always in these, like you always get crammed together
yeah,
before they check you for COVID. So if one has it,
we are all, you know,
yes.
and so then they started like coming out and calling the results. But I noticed that because some people were waiting for so long, and there was like this, my God, this Asian guy, they called the name that I know is not an Asian name, and he got up and walked. And I also started seeing like even the lady that was sitting next to me was like, I'm going, I'm going. And then she just got up and walked away. And I was thinking, I'm like, they haven't called my name, you know, but I cannot risk it. I'm now in Cameroon. I cannot risk not, if what if they call my name and they say, oh, you have COVID? And,
Mm.
but anyways,
I had
so,
I had that problem in Angola,
mm-hmm,
but in a different way.
mm-hmm,
They were like they had this huge like aircraft hangar where they did the checking, so that was good. You were not cramped together, but you was like after you got the check, they had like 50 tables there where everyone got like the stick in their mouth,
mm,
and then it went like to the thing. There was like so many people there,
yeah,
and then you went to the seating area, also in this giant hangar where they normally store aircrafts inside, and it was like 300 seats, like all with like 1-2 meters apart, and you were sitting there, and then they were calling out the name when they tested you.
mm-hmm.
A guy was standing there with a megaphone and calling out your name, but I could not understand one single name. It was like, and I'm sitting there, and I like after like 1 hour, I think like they have no idea how to spell my name. Like if there's Platzer, like how would they spell it?
Yeah,
Like
how
if
to
some
pronounce
with a
it.
French accent, I have
Yeah.
no idea when my name comes. So after like 1 hour and a half of like not understanding anything, I was just sitting there. I just got up and walked out,
That was
and
exactly
they
what I
didn't even
did
stop
too.
me. Like
Yeah,
I just walked through the gate. I did not get my receipt or anything. I just left the
yeah,
airport, and
me too. That was just what I did. I'm like, I can't risk any negativity at this point. So got out, and um so when we were there, I spoke to Marcus and was like, yeah, tomorrow you'll take the bus to come and meet us. I was like, oh my God. I thought it was already in Yaoundé, and then, checked in into a hotel and slept, but I was not really feeling good. Really not feeling good. And
hmm,
the next day had to wake up and travel, and I wasn't even aware that where you guys were was over 8 hours, or six to 8 hours.
I think more. I think the train went like 16 hours,
Yeah, it
and
was
I
really
mean,
long. Like
yeah, it's,
I think what we traveled overnight. Like well,
hmm,
early, very early in the morning, and then we arrived at night. Exactly, yeah. So
yeah.
it was,
The whole day was the bus ride.
oh my God. But imagine you're not feeling well and you're in there.
What kind of bus was it?
It was those tourist bus, like
So
the
you had AC or no? Like a
yeah, we
big
had
tourist bus
AC.
like you have here in Europe, like the
No,
very
not the ones
long,
like in Europe.
like the Toyota, like the smaller ones. The
No, like, I mean, yeah, it's big. Like, I think, hmm,
Is it like the one we were taking
I think so. I think, yeah, it's the ones in Europe because the luggages were put
underneath?
underneath. Yeah,
Ah, okay, so that, yeah, like a bigger
yeah,
one, yeah,
yeah.
but no AC.
No, no AC.
Mm.
So arrived, and I was like, because before that, anyways, I had this thought process of what if these guys are like traffickers? What if
What if we're gonna sell you?
what if you're going to sell me? But then I was like, sometimes in life you just have to take the risk. Like, it has to be what it has to be. But there was just like, again, my gut feeling telling me again that no, it's not that. So just take this trip and go. And I met Marcus, and he came to pick me up, and we went to the hotel. That was the night also that we had our first meeting in person, and you
Hmm.
were there. And I told you guys again that I was not feeling too well, and we're like, okay, we can see how we can manage things. And I think the next day we went to the Idol Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I remembered after filming at the Idol Kingdom, before we had the dinner, I went to the back and I threw up so much.
I
And
didn't know that you threw up on that day.
yeah, like before we ate, that's why I couldn't even eat. Yeah, because I went to the back, I threw up, I was crying, like, because I was like, how am I going to do this? And because that's how I am when I'm sick, I'm so emotional. My mom always says that, but it's the truth. And we left the Idol Kingdom the next day. We were supposed to start our journey to the
Bukaru, the north, like what was the town called close to it?
can't remember.
I have it on my Google Maps.
Hmm?
It's
You
a
see,
town in the north of Cameroon, close to the Vokre
Nod?
Mountains. North, yeah.
Yeah. Not
Very
Poly?
north. Hmm?
Not Poly?
No.
Oh no,
Poli. It was just Poli.
Poly, yeah?
Yeah. Like not Pol, north.
Yeah.
It was almost like on the border to Chad, I think,
Okay.
in the very north of Cameroon.
Okay.
Like yeah, Poli was it called, and we
Yeah.
went to the Bororo people there,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, there I
Yeah, so
realized
it
how
was
sick
at
you actually
yeah,
were.
it was at Joanne's camp,
Yeah,
and then from there
yeah,
we
we
went to
went
the
into this like
Umbo.
little hotel place.
Yeah.
That evening, I realized how sick you actually were
Yeah.
because we shot this scene on the mountain,
Oh yes,
and
that's the
during
next.
during we were like talking and like doing like one take after the other, you just turn around and throw up into the bushes.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, Sean was like just standing there like shocked.
Marcos was not like that.
Marcus Marcus just completely like he didn't acknowledge it at all. I don't know
Nope.
if he didn't realize or if he
And Joanne, no, he did realize because Joanne said, yeah, Diaka, welcome. You will be dying, and Marcos will not even give a shit.
no, that's how the director is like to
Yeah,
just get the shot,
get the
get it
shut
done now.
down. But yeah, I remembered coming down, and yeah, I think it was that night that I had,
The attack.
yeah, the attack where I had to be rushed to the hospital. For me,
I
that was,
I
yeah.
did not know anything about it. I woke up very briefly
Mm.
where Joan came in and got Marcus because you were not like because of you. But then I fell asleep again, and next morning I went to eat and said like, yeah, Marcus came in to me, yeah, I have to stay here with Diaka. You go alone into the mountains.
Mm.
That was everything I knew about
Yeah,
that evening. I didn't know that you went to the hospital or anything.
yeah. I was at the hospital the whole night taking IV fluids, and they did the test, and it came out to be malaria. But I mean, I've had malaria before my whole life growing up, especially in countries like Sierra Leone. I've had malaria so many times. Like, I don't think I've ever had any other sickness, fallen sick, and I had any other result other than malaria and typhoid,
Mhm.
because so for me, I was like, what kind of malaria is this? I've never
I
felt it
think
like
it's
that.
like was a combination of like this travel, this like super hard exhaustion, also like the shooting the first day, and
Yeah,
United Kingdom was stressful. We sat in this tiny car boxed in. You sat in the middle. You could not sleep.
yeah,
So there you fell asleep on my shoulder. I remember.
I did.
Mm, on the
Yeah,
way back.
I was so exhausted. And I mean, my experience in that hospital that night was just, I don't know what to say, but at the end of the day, one thing that I was really grateful for was the doctor at the hospital. he was quite helpful, and he had empathy in him, because he saw how I was, the way how I was feeling, and he just like took his time to make sure that, I guess, he gave me the right medication. And but I remembered after spending the, that night, and I had to tell Marcus that I can't stay another night in this hospital because it was just not conducive for me. Like it was just not my type of place. Or I mean, it's a hospital in deep in the deepest,
Yes.
like the village, and it's not even village.
Yeah, I
Like
mean, about
it's
hospital is said a lot about like it's like overstatement. I mean, it was 3 rooms in my feeling, like 3 big rooms, and
At first, I was not in a room.
yeah, like
I was
halls.
like, when I
You
was
mean
like in the waiting room basically, because there
yeah,
was waiting room, there are
where they
chairs on the
watched
right,
where
and
they
then
watched soccer.
everybody is like watching soccer, and then you're
The
lying
whole
there with a
village
bed.
was not watching the soccer
Anyone who
game.
comes in to see the doctor is coming through the same room, and you're lying there on the side, like. And
Mm.
then after they moved me into the room, and there was this girl there that, it was just not a good situation for me. I remember I left the room, was sitting outside, and it was just like thinking, this is it. Like, I don't think I could make it out of this illness, because I almost gave up, you know. I was hopeless. And I remember I called my mom and I told her that the chances of me coming back home will really be slim. Like, I don't think I could make it from this. And I guess then that was even why I told Marcus that I want to leave the hospital. So at least if I'm going to like have my last breath, it won't be in this kind of space. And he then made sure that I left. He came, picked me up, and we went to the camp, set me up in a room that is closer to the the kitchen. And if they have to rush me out again, it's closer to the car park.
Mhm.
And I remember the next day, because then I said I have to go back, I don't want to stay here. And then doctor was like, but you need to take your medication. I'm like, I could still be coming and taking it every day, but I don't
Mm.
have to sleep here. So the next day, that was when Marcus gave you the task to take me to the hospital.
Mhm.
And anyways, fast forward, I got healed. Our trip was extended because Marcus was like, okay, we need to give you time to heal. I think that was also really good for me, also mentally, because then
We both had times where we had healed during this trip.
yeah,
We had to extend the trip because of
yeah,
one of us
yeah,
having to heal from Marcus's escapades. And I
yeah,
mean, for me, it was not escapade. I tripped in the hotel room and broke my ankle, but
yeah, quite
yeah.
interesting times. But then, yeah, after that, I think after the whole journey of thinking that I couldn't make it through this sickness, I ended up being healed. And that was when I was like, bingo, like this trip is going to be one that I will not hold myself back, restrict myself back in anything. That was why when Marcos was telling me to do the most craziest things that I've never done in my life before, like to hike through the Sapa mountain, that was crazy when I sit back and think about it. Just for me was something that just was natural. Anything say, yeah, okay, I'll do it. Even with the last scene in the movie, you know, it was like, it's life. What has to be like, if I can do it, I can do it. Why should I hold back when I almost
Mm.
faced death, you know? But I always say that me getting healed wasn't only because of the medical attention that I had. There was another thing that happened to me that was transformational, I will say. Like, I don't know if I want to talk about it. Um,
I mean, it's on you if you want to talk about it or not. I mean,
Yeah, I think I don't want to talk about it now. Maybe if you have me in the podcast some other time, maybe. But let's see how the conversation
So you
goes.
won't talk about it now.
Um, I don't think I
Okay.
want to talk about it now.
So, but now again, I mean, you did the same thing as I did.
What is it?
Talk about your bad experience
But
and very extendedly.
yeah,
But I mean, it's part of your transformation. It's part of why, like, why this transformation happened, or why you would say today probably this transformation was part of it, or happened there.
one of the transformation.
Mm-hmm. But let's go to like what would you define as your favorite experience, the best experience?
I think it's the experience that I don't want to talk about.
Then the second best, and the one after that.
The one after that is being close with the indigenous people, like having to experience, even though it's of course not their full experience, but having to have a taste of their life, their lifestyle. I think that for me was quite an amazing experience. But the Bukaru people, sleeping in the it's a rainforest, right?
Mm-hmm. The
Yeah,
Baka people.
the Baka.
These ones. Like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Baka.
I really loved the Baka people in the forest. So many beautiful memories I have of that place. Um,
Crazy memories.
yeah, the Umboro people who transformed my the whole idea of how African society usually say that if you tattoo your skin, like you're going against the African culture, but when originally our indigenous people actually do tattoo um as a form of
Beauty.
expressing their traditions. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's also a form of beauty for me. I mean,
Yeah.
those women were stunning. How
Yeah.
they were tattooed. It was had like such a artistry in it,
Yeah.
and it was like a style of tattooing which I never seen before. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone's seen the Maori tattoos, like the trendy tribal tattoos and stuff
Yeah.
from like the New Zealand tribes or Pacific tribes, but like this was a complete different style which I never have seen before, and was very beautiful, very soothing.
Yeah.
Even though they did this in their faces and everything, but was still very
Yeah.
artistically beautiful.
Yeah. I also liked the fact that for them women can get married to as many men, or they choose the men that they want to get married
Mm.
to. Like, and the men have to go through the gay wall ceremony where they paint themselves and whiten their teeth, and just they have this form of dance and style that they do to attract the women. And let's say, okay, a woman chooses you, that you're the one that I want to be my husband, and you
I
get
mean,
married and you go into the room, the night of the wedding, and you have um sexual intercourse, and the woman sees that the woman feels like didn't perform to her expectation, then she can easily come out to the village and announce that I don't want him to be my husband anymore. I want someone else. Like, that is truly elevating to learn about and
I
experience.
mean, I would also say it's like how nature's intended, how nature's designed. If you look at nature, if you look at the world around us,
Yeah.
animals do it the same. I mean,
Yeah.
if you look at the birds, the male is doing the dance, like the male is trying to attract the female is the powerful, most times in the nature is the powerful, more stronger
Yeah.
animal which chooses which
Mm-hmm.
kind of male, and the male is the one who
Yeah.
like tries to suit and attract the female. It's not
Mm-hmm.
the other way. It's like, and there's no control of the male. Like both sides don't really control each other, but it's still, in the end, still the female has the choice.
Yeah, well, even my dog. My dog is a pretty dog. I remembered back in Sierra Leone, Kiara. Like when I had Kiara, all the male dogs in the neighborhood will always be at the front of my gate, especially when she's going through her menstrual cycle. Like all of them, they can smell it from a mile away. Like it's really amazing, yeah, with nature. And you will see they will come there and they would do what they have to do. Some will smell her. You know, if we go out, you see some of them following her, trying to smell her ass. And eventually, like, she will only allow the one that will, she got pregnant, which was not my dream, but she got pregnant by one of the dogs in the area. And they will only allow who they feel that they're attracted to climb them, you know. So it was quite um interesting to experience that within the human race. And yeah, so getting close to the indigenous people, experiencing their lives, their lifestyle, also eating their food, that was quite an experience for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and what would you like consider like the weirdest experience we had? Like the most strangest? I mean, we had some strange experiences there, but
The weirdest experience.
yeah, like the
I
most.
would say it's, you spoke about this already in your last podcast with the house, the mafia house.
Mm-hmm.
That was quite strange for me.
Why?
Quite
What was
strange.
strange for you there?
Wow, from even I wasn't even at the house the day when you went, the night when you went there to see the house to scout it and look, and you came back and you told us about, you gave us the feedback.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought my first thought was like, was it you or Marcos who went there?
I went there. I took the
Yeah,
photos
yeah.
and
And I was like, I think my comment was quite skeptical about them.
I mean, I was skeptical too. Marcus
Yeah.
loved it from.
I think it was when I saw the video that I said, wow, like my thought, my and with the energy, I don't know, something with my energy, and it just didn't connect to the place. And so I already had that in me, and that feeling in me. And so when we went there the next day, it was quite, I don't know how to describe it. First of all, the dog that was tied by the gates, there was never,
We don't walk the dog.
we don't walk, okay, we don't walk dogs in Africa. Like we leave the dogs to roam around, you
But
know.
I mean, the dog's world was 2 meters.
Huh?
The dog's world, like his whole world, which the dog saw,
Yeah.
was 2 meters, and then the door opens sometimes, and he sees a little bit further.
Yeah. For us, we leave our dogs to roam around. I mean, that's how my dog got pregnant. But I mean, it's a huge compound, you know. At least you can say, okay, at night, maybe you leave the dog. But it was just, I don't know, it was just not right for me. And for me, I
I
feel
mean, the
like,
dog was an angry dog, so.
because you constantly tie them. Like, for me, like my dog was, of course, Kiara could be so aggressive, but every time she's aggressive towards someone, I know that something is not right about this person. Either maybe their energy towards me might, because she wasn't always like that with everyone, you know. So I think that if you constantly tie this dog up, they would become aggressive. You know, they feel like they need to be aggressive. So coming in and looking at the dog, and also just again with the people, the family. I mean, I'm not trying to say anything negative about them, but just our energies just didn't collide, you know,
Connect there, or like, yeah,
connected.
they
Like,
collided, but they didn't connect. I mean, yeah, it was.
yeah, exactly. So I was like,
I mean, they were friendly, they were nice, but still, you
yeah,
were
of
a bit
course.
like,
They were
creeped
like,
out. That is, I don't know.
it for me. The feeling is like, you know, in the movies when you go to like this motel where like you see no one around, or maybe you go to this motel and then you see people maybe in the waiting room, and then they're all just like strange looking, like
Yeah,
just
I think the thing was also that we only met the same 5 people always,
mm-hmm.
but there were so many people in the background, like the floors
Yeah,
above. Like, I
yeah,
mean, it was like 5 stories or so.
yeah,
You always heard children screaming, like you always heard something going on there.
mm,
And all of them had their families, but we never saw any of them. We
yeah,
only saw only the same 5, um, like, yeah,
yeah,
like same 5 faces, I would say, like, or like
yeah.
maybe they were the faces of the family. So
That's why I was so petrified
like,
when Marcus came and said, "Oh, we're going to sleep here," and I. No, I think he gave us an option, right? Whether to go to a hotel or to sleep there.
yeah, something, because there was not enough space. It was just this tiny room.
And I was like, for sure, I'm going to a hotel. Like, and the hotel was just next door, which was again another experience of its own. Like a hotel where people start walking around at 2 in the morning. Like the room upstairs above us was like moving tables and chairs. I don't know what was happening there. And it was just so strange. And you were here, and there was loud music. Okay, the loud music was Marcus's own experience.
Mm.
And the next day, of course, the people were telling him that there was no party going on at that time, so they didn't hear any music. And I remembered it was so bad at the hotel that I like had to wake up at night. Remember that, and I told you that we need to leave here. Like
Mm.
there was no way I was going to even spend the money up to like to even. And the next day was when we were supposed to do the first shoots at the first sit down talk, the long
Yeah.
sit down talk with the main part of the movie. And so I remember we had to, like, I woke up that night, first started looking around for hotels, and I saw one, and I'm like, hey, I've just booked this one, let's go. And we left our stuff there, and I think when we left, the receptionist was there, right?
I don't
She was
remember.
sitting there, and she was also so weird also.
Yeah, they were all weird. Like, they were
Yeah.
all just like, they were like, I mean, and like modern meme speak, like, on the internet, you would say they were like NPCs,
Mm-hmm.
like non-player characters in a video game, which only exist to suit you. Like, they have no own life. Like, you come by there, and they like just sit there still on the counter without doing anything, and then like it's like you're the first interaction they had, like, in 3 hours. Before that, they were just sitting there
Yeah.
dormantly, like zoned out, like, and then you come out, and like it's.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that was one of the best decisions to leave and go to another hotel. And the next morning, when we went to the room with all the artifacts, for me, like I felt like these artifacts, whether if they were real or not, like I felt like there was no soul in them. You know, the thing about why you see so many African countries, try to fight the Western world, or even not even fights, but request that they return back the stolen artifacts that they looted and, from their land. It's because these things have souls in them. And when you take them out of where they belong, they lose that soul in them. They lose the life in them.
Mm-hmm.
So, when I entered the room, for me, it just like I just felt so, I don't know, the energy was just not okay with me. But we had to film there, and it was also quite an experience for me. And also with the food, of course, like even with the smell of the food when they were cooking, I love my African
the smell
food.
of the
Like,
whole place.
it was
weird.
so weird. Like, we were coughing. Remember, we had to leave at one point when they were cooking, and then I remember when they came, because they cooked a feast for us, and I told you
they smoked the whole place where we were supposed to be sleeping. There was like thick smoke on the ceiling. Like, if you would have stayed in this room where like they said it's their guest room, you would have gotten like smoke poisoning. You would have not woken up if you would have gone to bed there.
Of course you will wake up.
No, I mean, that's a thing what people like when you have this much smoke. I mean, the smoke was gathering on the ceiling, and there's so much smoke which you don't see, like the carbon dioxide, and you get carbon monoxide. You get like carbon dioxide or carbon monoxide poisoning, and it's like you don't feel it. You fall, you go to sleep. That's why most people, when like the house is burning, they don't wake up because when their feet are burning, because they already have the carbon monoxide poisoning. They're already like kind of unconscious, and then they just burn without even waking up ever. So like you're like depriving your brain of oxygen in this place. I mean, this was really like unsleepable in this place, because I mean they made a fire in the stairways directly underneath the guest room. But
I remember when it was time to eat, and I told Marcus that tomorrow is a big day. I can't eat because the smell of the food. We have this thing back home in Sierra Leone when we say, if soup's sweet, na smell, they tell you. Like, if a soup is delicious, you will know by the smell. The smell alone will tell you. And I think it's just by instinct, right, with humans. Like, if we smell something and it smells good and we want to taste it, so that's why I refuse to eat. But yeah, from the last podcast you spoke about this with you decided to be, well, a hero, I would say, because I told you don't eat, but then you had to eat it, and it wasn't an experience you will ever forget for the rest of your life.
But I mean, you reminded me of something which I completely forgot. I mean, the food overshadowed. You reminded me of the ghost child.
Yeah.
The child is evil.
The house was weird.
What was, I mean, Joanne was the one who had this experience. But I remember it faintly. I think you remembered a little bit better what he told.
I think it was something that he lost in the room or so. I might be wrong again because I too remember it faintly. Or it was just like the owner of the house telling him to be conscious about there's this boy who takes things.
Yeah, the boy is stealing. He came to him and the boy is a not good boy. This boy is an evil boy, he's stealing.
Yeah. So apparently there was this boy who was
and then
a ghost.
His phone was gone.
I think it was his phone. He was looking for something.
Yeah, I think his phone was not at his nightstand or anything.
And so the man was telling him that there's this boy. It seemed like he was like angry, like that the boy must have.
Did it again,
yeah. So it was quite. I don't know. As an African, I mean, people would not get this, but we have certain beliefs that we have in us, with our cultures and our traditions, and I think that place was just like what I was taught about growing up as a child to look out for. It was just really weird.
Yeah, and there was this. I mean, Joanne said I really have to get Joanne on the podcast and talk with him about it because
I hope
the
he
way he told
remembers.
it, yeah, because he said he got his phone back and then he said like the man of the house, like the grandpa or something, that's like, yeah, the boy hid it, the boy is now in there, and he pointed like at
In
this
the wardrobe,
closet or
yeah.
like in the wardrobe,
Yeah.
and they just locked the boy in the wardrobe.
It's crazy. It's really crazy.
But Jean never saw the boy.
The
That's
boy.
why it's the ghost child, because
Yeah.
like we never saw the boy actually.
Yeah.
Like the boy is hiding. The boy is hiding behind the door. I know it. He's hiding behind the door. Don't look.
Everyone was weird. The way how the people were looking at us, and
Yeah,
but
when I
yeah.
went to the bathroom, this guy is sitting in the dark. I mean, this was like 1-to-1 out of like a horror movie. Like,
Yeah.
he's sitting there in like this ominous, shady corner, just a little bit of light coming onto him. He's like carving some wood or something like that, and just barely like lit. And I don't know how he looks. I just saw that there's a person sitting in the complete dark, more or less, in the shadow.
Yeah. I had a really bad feeling about that place. My energy wasn't settled within that.
You know what's funny? One of the boys called me today when I was cooking
the one
lunch.
that
The phone
followed
was.
us? He followed me too.
What? He followed you?
On Instagram.
Really?
Yeah, I see
Recently?
he follows you too. I saw it. I forgot to tell you. Like,
so he probably saw the podcast, saw himself in the wheels. Maybe that's why he's calling me.
I told you, like, how slim are the chances of him coming? Oh my god. I think so. It's him because he only follows you. And when I looked, and I remember his face, I think. You know, the one that was really like friendly with us, going around with us.
Yeah, Abdul, I think is his name.
Yeah. Anyways,
I mean, yeah, they were nice people.
They were nice people for sure, but just
the
strange.
place had this, like, I mean, when you escaped from the Uber driver, or what was it, the Django driver, like Uber in Cameroon?
Yeah.
Was it Django?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
We're like, your wife did not pay me. Like, they came to me and wanted to like collect the money.
Yeah,
like,
he was driving.
She ran away.
He was driving with me in a different direction away from that.
Yeah, I mean, it was
and
kind of like you were right around the corner of the
hotel.
hotel.
And it was so dark, and I was like, yo, and because you speak, of course, it's French. I was telling him in French, like, put me down now. Like, I switched to my French personality, like, instantly. Like, I need to come down now. It was just strange. Yeah. But yeah,
But there was this day. There was also the first shooting day. It was like the longest day of my life. I think like, because first at night, like moving the hotels to the other hotel, and we came like we had like a whole 1 hour discussion with the hotel guy because it didn't accept my card or something like that to pay for the hotel. Then we went to the hotel. It was like we had to shower before we went to bed because the other hotel was so dirty.
Yeah.
So everything took so long that I think I went to bed at like 4 a.m. or something like that. And the next morning, I had to prepare the shoot before you would come. So I got up at like 5:30 because I said, okay, with Marcus, I meet with Marcus at 6. So you can sleep out and we prepare the interview setting at 6. So I took at 5:30 the cab to the house.
Mm.
Like, so I slept like 1.5 hours. Then Marcus was still asleep. Marcus was not even there. I prepped the interview setting mostly. Then at some point, like at 7:30, he woke up, and then the plan was that I would pick up you at 8 and bring you back. So I drove back at 8 to the hotel to pick you up, and I knocked at your door, and you didn't open. You were too asleep, and I had no room key or anything. So I remember I sat in the lobby and I tried to call you. I tried the lobby guy, but he didn't want to give me another room key. I smashed the door, everything, but you just didn't wake up.
But I think they have master key. Why didn't you just open?
They didn't. I mean, you cannot just. A guy comes and he wants to enter somebody else's apartment, so it was. They wouldn't let that happen probably, and so I fell asleep in the lobby. So I slept for like 2 hours in the lobby, and then Marcus called me again. Where are you? Where are you? And I said, "Fuck! I fell asleep." Like while I was trying to call you, I think I fell asleep there, and then you finally woke up. We shot this scene the whole day, like where you were talking with Joanne. And then we were like wrapping up, and you already wanted to go to the hotel. And I was like packing everything up. And then when I was just leaving to also go to the hotel to finally like relax and sit down, like my back was killing me, then some guy comes to me, talks to me in French, then another guy comes, talks to me in English. Yeah, your wife, we have to come, you have to come. And like they drag me into this, like, and this guy from like Django comes, like this kind of observer. I don't know what his job was. It's like, yeah, she did not pay, she left the car. And then like, yeah, come. And me and these two guys from Django, the Django driver and the Django management guy with the Django shirt, they sat in front, and 4 people and me sat in the back. And they were like discussing and everything. Like the Abdul was there, his friend and 2 of his brothers, I think. And we were like crammed in the back seat. I had no idea what is going on. It's like, oh, you have to search your wife. We have to search your wife. She dropped off in like a unsafe place and she did not pay.
Your wife.
Yeah, I mean, for them, you were just my wife. That was just how their belief system worked.
Yeah.
So we drove up and down. I did not understand what was going on, why we were searching for you. And eventually I reached you, and you already went to the hotel. You took like a bike to the hotel, or what did you do?
I took another
cab,
yeah.
Yeah, and then like you're in the hotel already, and then like the Django driver was like pissed off, like, oh, like, where did you get my money? So I just gave him some money. And yeah, then I knew I was like, the Django driver didn't want to drive us to the hotel. He said like, okay, it's done now for me. I want to continue driving for other people. And so we took a motorbike to the hotel. And I remember I was so tired on the back of this motorbike that I almost fell off,
Wow.
I forgot to hold on, so tired was I. And I think it was like done late in the evening, like 10 or so. Was one of the longest days shooting I think I had.
Yeah, it was quite exhausting but also fulfilling trip. And I just hope that the movie will be seen by the world, and also it could create a space where people could be able to gain knowledge, share knowledge, be inspired to
Mm-hmm.
to learn about people who do not only um, exist within their own cultures or their own perspectives. Yeah,
Yeah.
but there's so much we can talk about this experience. There's another layer of the experience that.
Yeah. Deep
Mm-hmm.
layer.
Yeah.
So I've one more question.
Mm-hmm.
It's maybe a bit of a hard question,
Okay.
but how would you say did the trip change you? What is the how would you define this change?
um. So it changed my perspective in life. Um, what I thought life was about, or at least the box where I, looked at life from, was way beyond um, what I got to learn, what way beyond what I experienced. I realized that life is not to be put in a box, first of all. um, and for me, going to Cameroon was a point in my life where I was going through some I was going through challenges in my life that was also kind of like a change that I needed to grow through. Okay, I won't say like I was going through a challenge at that time. I would say I've already like gone through those challenges. So I was in the point where like I was like transitioning, you know, changing my lifestyle, changing the people that I hang around with, trying to build more on my knowledge, doing more sports, playing a lot of squash, focusing on my health, and, becoming a vegan. Um, so again, when I traveled and looking at experiencing the life of these people, the indigenous people, it made me realize that my two pink suitcases was not really what I needed because, like when you look at them leaving from just a plastic bag. That's where all their all their belongings that they have. That's where it is. Their houses are made of leaves. That could just the more the leaves get decayed, they add new leaves on top of it. And the food that they eat, I look at them like, is this food enough for all of them? You know, um, and just the content in their hearts, in their hearts, it just made me realize that there's so much in my life that I could be grateful for. I think it opened my heart to be able to receive so much that I never thought I could be able to receive. Like one of the greatest things that I think I received in my heart was love. And that for me is something that love is something that very few people in this world um get to really experience.
Hmm. I thought I never would experience it
Yeah,
for a long time.
yeah. I was at the point where I thought that maybe I've missed my chances in love. Like maybe I've run out of my chances of, falling in love again. And that was quite an interesting experience for me and one that has changed my life in ways that I never really envisioned my life to be, transformed into. And yeah, so gratitude, um, gratefulness, love, and the possibility also to look at life from not from a point of view that include like a box, but like I always say this thing, like don't think, people say think outside the box, and I say think as if there is no box, like there should not be even any box. So that's how my life transformed when I look at life as a whole. And I never really thought about even being in Germany on this day. When I met you guys, Germany was not part of my list to travel. But then when I decided to do my master's degree, and the only place that the universe could direct me to, in full there, because I wanted to study masters in human rights and also mix it with politics and also about society. So because I intend to go into politics in the future, that's one of my goals. But we'll see how life takes me. That's what I intend to do, but I don't know what the universe has in store for me. So being here in Germany today, and even when we first did the first premiere for the movie, I never thought I would even experience that, but this is life. And I guess because I was able to put my mind in a way where I didn't look at life from a box point of view, that's why all these things are possible. And I'm really grateful for where I am right now, and really looking forward to what the future holds.
Mm-hmm. Okay. It's very nice, very beautiful.
And for you, the hard question, I throw it back at you.
I mean, for me, it was not really the trip which changed me. I mean, the trip to Cameroon, I would say, of all the trips I did to, for both of the movies we shot during this time in these almost 2 years, we traveled to 13 different countries, I think, and seen so much. But the Cameroon trip sticks out as the one which was the most surreal, the most craziest things happened, the most stuff which stuck in my brain like crazy, which still live in my brain every day. And so much change happened even there. I mean, even before you arrived, it was crazy. I mean, just a day before you arrived, we had a car accident, a car shot in the back of our van, of our bus, and I was sitting in the back row, and I flew half a meter up through the whole place, and I just walked out unscathed, and the whole bus was torn apart in the back, and we had to get a whole new bus. So and my seat was 30 centimeters in a different direction, and everything that happened there was felt so crazy. But I mean, what really sustainably impacted me the most was actually meeting you and hearing your stories personally, what you told me, because I mean, you are an activist for women and girls' rights, but you tell these stories to help people, or to I mean, you told me stories which I could not believe in that moment. I could not even grasp in my mind, which I even I think I blocked out after you told me. I forgot that you told me these for a long time.
Yeah, because I remembered there was this one time when I really told you so many personal things, and I remember I was like, oh my God, I've really exhausted you, and you forgot about those things. Yeah,
I only remember that I got so paranoid on this evening. You told me about all these stories, and it took for me so long to work through these stories in my mind that I even could make these connections. I mean, my brain, my synapses completely disconnected these stories because they were so mind-blowing for me that I just had to lock them up somewhere else. But I mean, these stories are important to be told, and like I mean, they're important to be. Okay, so we had a short interruption. The camera's overheating or like ran out of battery and is overheating now. But I hope it got most of the last few minutes. So where was I?
But the stories, they were like mind blowing that your mind could not even like phantom them.
Yeah, I mean, there were these stories. I mean, they were. I realized that they are important to be told. I mean, for other victims, for potential victims, for women and girls who went through similar things or even worse things, and then they see that okay, there is a way forward, a way to continue. I think. I mean, that's what I think. That why they are important to be told, and I was very like impressed by how you told me these stories, also how you told other things on camera in the interview. And I think that's where like a major thing in my a major part of my work changed, because before I was traveling with Marcus, we were shooting these movies, and I mean, I appreciated that I could travel to all these places. I was amazed by all the landscapes I saw. I filmed the most beautiful images. I was happy about the things, but I did not really care about, or like care about is maybe a little bit hard, but I did not think about the story we were telling or like the impact we might have. So often during interviews, I would set up a beautiful interview scene. I would think about, okay, the light from here, and okay, this person is talking about this, so I set up the camera like this so it looks more heroic, or I set them like they are more like the oppressed people, so I film a little bit down, so to like show their status a little bit. I thought about this, but during the interview, I had the headphones in to check the audio, the sound, everything, and I was looking at the screen constantly to check that everything is running. But I mostly was zoning out. I was only focusing on the technical part, and I did not care about what the people were telling. I cared about that my part, the image and the sound is good, but I did not care about anything that they were telling to me. They could have, I mean, they could have told me the most boring or the most brutal or the most like egotistical thing. I wouldn't have listened even. I wouldn't have no. I mean, Marcus was talking to them, interviewing them, but I was purely zoning out, and I think that changed with hearing your stories and understanding the importance of storytelling in this sense. What I mean, gave me a whole nother perspective on my work and a whole nother ambition for my work. I mean, before I took this opportunity to travel the world, shoot documentaries, because I thought I filmed beautiful images. I will go to the most beautiful places. I will like see things which most people won't see. I mean, I did this, but I came back with another understanding, with the ambition and the idea of telling stories of people who deserve to be told and which should be told, which have to be told for a better future, for a better society. And I mean,
Yeah.
that's what I 100% accredit to you, to the things you told to me on this trip. And it really changed, I think, part of my career uh, in a positive way. I mean, I have to find the path to do this. Like, I'm still on the search for the path, but I know what the goal is.
Mm-hmm. That's so beautiful for you to say. It's it's a beautiful thing. Thank you.
Yeah, so I hope I also had some kind of influence on you. Otherwise, I mean, you're great as you are, and I hope we hear about more of your experiences. I mean, there's still so many facets of the trip. I mean, we have not talked at any specific. We haven't talked about any specific interaction in the jungle, in the desert, on the mountains. Like what happened there. We only scraped on them.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we can tease something for the next episode when you are on.
Yeah.
What would you like to talk about then? How would you
So
how would you tease it?
so I think it's a both. It's a both sides. I also feel that you were one of the people on that trip that had a huge, gigantic, giant.
What Jenga?
Yeah, I want to say like a huge, like a ginormous,
Tremendous, like Trump would say.
Like a giant impact, ginormous impact on me. Is that the word? But anyways, I can think about the word. It's at the tip of my tongue, but I cannot get it out. But you had a huge impact on me, and you also like one of the people that transformed the way how I look at life. Not only indigenous people, but you were one of the people who gave me a different outlook in life, and I am up to this day like so grateful for you for that. And there's just so many things about you, your pure energy, your thirst, to learn, about new things, your ability to help other people. You were so helpful with everyone else on the trip. I'm not trying to say anything about the other guys, but I mean, if we could like rank like the most helpful people on the trip, people who looked after other people, like you, I would say top that list. And for me, that's one of the qualities that I look for in people, and also that draws me closer to people. So, yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I mean, it's good to hear that. I mean, yeah, tried to be helpful. That's part of what I liked so much on this trip. Still, like the feeling to be needed or to have an impact on what's going on there. I mean, that was really like, especially that's why I also liked being in these survival situations, because I always had something to solve a problem. I'm a very notorious overthinker, but that was the point where my overthinking would actually help everyone, because I would just I would have thought about everything before it would happen. I would have everything with me, from first aid, from when Marcus fell on his head and was bleeding, I could fix him up, and from so that was part of what I liked, being helpful there. But yeah, back to what you would tease about the next. What would be the story you want to?
I guess it would be about what I mean when I say you like played a huge impact in my life on that trip. That will be the tease.
Okay. For me, I would like to talk about our hike up the mountain, which you you already said it was like you thought you could never do it, and I mean, it's part of what you want to say, like why I managed to do this trip, even though like I broke my ankle just before, then we hiked up the mountain, and like, I mean, remember like coming down this mountain and like arriving on the bottom. I never felt such relief before.
Yeah.
I was really like, every step I thought like I would like
You remember the
tumble
watermelon?
over
The watermelon we had
unconsciously.
was the best watermelon in my life.
But when we came home,
Yeah.
yeah, for me, for me, the thing what was the best, like which I remember coming back, was first sitting on the back of the motorcycle, like driving back to the city from the base of the mountain, having my huge backpack and just hanging there in the sun, having in the back, like hanging like on my backpack like this, just having the wind like blow through my hair. And then we arrived in Poli, in the town, and then the ice cold Coke we got
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. That was
I think
really
my
good.
legs were not. I didn't even get off the motorcycle. I just stayed sitting on the motorcycle, and somebody reached me a Coke because I could not. My legs were cramped up so hard I could not get up from the motorcycle. But then this ice cold. Was it World Cola? It was not Coca-Cola. I think it was some other Coke.
It was Coca-Cola.
No, we don't make advertisements for Coca-Cola. It was not. I think it was. I think it was World Coke or something like that. Like
World Coke is what?
It's a. I think. Or was it World Coke? Was in Angola. No, it was not Coca-Cola. It was a different cola brand.
Okay.
It was the African cola
Okay.
brand. It was not Coca-Cola. I think.
It's Coca-Cola. We have Coca-Cola in Africa.
Yeah, I know you have Coca-Cola, but you also have other brands of Coca-Cola.
Okay. Anyway, you guys were the freak for that drink. Like I couldn't get it how you guys could drink so much.
It was just our like anchor, you could say. Because I mean, you can have. I mean, if I would have had Apfelschorle, that would have been even greater. Like that's for like. I mean, that's our connection back home, because it's something you can drink home or in Africa. It always tastes almost the same. Ice cold.
When we travel to Africa, we'll go with some Apfelschorle.
Yeah, but then you have it with you. You have to come somewhere, like in the middle of nowhere,
and
like,
you get Apfelschorle.
Yeah, we had like, I mean, we had places like in I remember in Sudan last year, where it's 2 years ago already, where I drove with these guys to the governor, and I mean they told us before, yeah, there's no plastic bottles, no water, nothing, and like I mean we at the place where we were staying, there was no refrigerator anywhere, so like we only had warm water, because I first had to press it to the filter. By the time it was through the filter, it got like super warm, and then me and the driver had to drive somewhere else to another spot to meet the governor of the Nuba Republic. And I remember we stopped at this place where like just a boy was sitting outside, had like a table with a couple of jerry cans, or like the big plastic jerry cans full of gas, and there was this tiny shed, like it was like a bus stop or something like that, the size of a bus stop, but it was covered on all sides. And then like the guy entered, and he came out with like a beverage, ice cold, and then like I thought like, hey, wow. And I go into this tiny store, and it's like one guy sitting there on a chair and a giant ice cooler. I have no idea how he gets the electricity to run this thing in the middle of like 45 degrees heat.
Ice cooler or refrigerator?
Freezer.
Really?
Yeah, and he had like, I mean, the freezer was like barely managing to freeze it,
Mm.
but he has it full of like Coke and drink and
Smart,
orange juice.
smart, smart entrepreneur.
I think I paid like €5 per bottle or something like that. I think I spent like $25 for like 5 bottles. But it was so great. I mean, I bought everyone in the car. I bought everyone a drink, and yeah, it was this was such a relief. And then after like 2 weeks of warm water, this is like, I don't know, man. This is pure bliss in this moment for me. I don't know. It's
You remember the pineapple we had at the top of the mountain?
yeah. I mean, that's the similar thing, same
Mm.
thing. I mean, the pineapple was also
So
somebody
sweet.
gets out something
Yeah,
sweet and
Abdullah
juicy.
Fixer was really amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess we wrap it up for today before the camera overheats again, and
Yeah.
see you in the next one.
Mm.
Hope, I mean, maybe it's with you, or maybe I can get Marcus
Mm.
to come on. I will also contact Joan.
Mm.
So we have everyone. Maybe also Abdul from the mob house called me because he wants to tell his story.
Yeah. Will be more fun.
Yeah, so yeah, see you on the next one. You were a great guest, and hope to speak to you soon.
Thank you for having me, and hope to be here again soon.
All right. See you on the next one. Ciao, ciao.